Okay, so we're going to start looking at the first of 6 scenes from the play Romeo and Juliet to prepare you for your GCSE Shakespeare assessment. You'll need to make sure that you have the 2 A3 sheets from your teacher, from Mr. Delaney or myself, with the 6 scenes on it before you start. So we're going to start with Act 1, Scene 1, and this concerns Romeo and his relationship with both his parents. Remember that the question is about parent and child relationships. So you can see here, at the very beginning of the scene, Lady Montague says, "Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray." What do you think that shows about Lady Montague's relationship with Romeo? She asks where he is. She says he's glad that he wasn't a part of the fighting. So that tells you that she is a concerned parent. She perhaps doesn't have so much control over him as she doesn't know where he is, but she's certainly glad that he's safe and that she's concerned about his well-being. Later in the scene then, once Benvolio has talked about where he thinks Romeo is, we look at Romeo's dad's speech. Lord Montague says that he knows where his son goes every day. He goes, if you find the line here, to the Grove of Sycamore on the west side of the city. And you can see that Lord Montague says, "Many a morning hath he there been seen." He knows where his son is every day, except that he can't do much about it. He doesn't have that close relationship with him. If you see further down in that scene, he says that Romeo, away from light, steals home my heavy son. Private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks the daylight out, just like a modern teenager really. When you're feeling a bit down and hormonal and miserable, you lock yourself in your bedroom, turn all the lights off and put your head under the covers. And that's what Romeo is doing. He's really, really sad and depressed. And his father realises this, but there doesn't seem to be anything that he can do about it. So again, probably like a typical modern parent really. They do care about their children. They are aware of what's wrong and what's going on in their lives, but they don't seem to have that closeness of relationship that they can do anything about it. So when Benvolio asks him, "My noble uncle, do you know the cause?" Let's just flip the sheet over. Montague says, "I neither know it nor can learn of him." So that tells you that he's tried hard, but he can't find out what is wrong with his son. Benvolio asks him, "Have you importuned him? Have you tried to find out by any means?" And this is where we see that Montague, Lord Montague, is a concerned parent. He's tried really hard to find out what's wrong with his son. He says, "Both by myself and many other friends." He's tried to find out. He's asked his friends, perhaps Romeo's friends as well, to find out what's wrong with him. But the problem is that Romeo is, and you can see I've highlighted it in green, so secret and so close. Romeo, he says, keeps everything to himself. At the end of Lord Montague's speech, he says, "Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know." He's really desperate. He's such a caring father. He really wants to know what the problem is. Could we but learn where Romeo's sorrows come from? He's desperate to find out. We would as willingly give cure. The key word there is cure. He wants to help his son. So you can see in that first scene, let's turn it over again and we'll go back and have a look at Lady Montague. She's a concerned mother. She wants to know where he is. She's really glad that he's not involved in the terrible fighting. And then you can see Lord Montague. He knows where his son is. He knows his behaviour. He knows that he's depressed and that every day he shuts himself up in his bedroom. Oh, I beg your pardon. I've missed a bit here. Look. At the bottom of this speech here, "Black and portentous must this humour prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove." He does feel, and again this shows how well he knows his son, he feels that there's something terrible is going to happen, something black and portentous. That means like a bad omen. Something bad is going to happen. Unless good counsel may the cause remove. He realises that Romeo needs help. He needs counselling. He needs someone to tell his problems to. But unfortunately, that's not going to be his parents. And then at the end of the scene, let's turn it over again. We see that at the top there, he doesn't know what's wrong exactly, but he's tried really hard to find out, both by myself and many other friends. But Romeo's problem is he keeps everything so close to his chest that they're really having trouble finding out what's wrong. And then at the end he says he wants to know what his problems are because he wants to really try and help him to give cure. So that's an overview of scene 1. So there we are, that's Romeo and his relationship with his parents in Act 1, Scene 1. That's really very near the beginning of the play. In the next video tutorial, I'll look at Romeo's relationship with Friar Lawrence and look at the difference between that relationship and Romeo's relationship with his father.